What's up, everybody? It's Anthony. I'm back. We're still going through the preseason section of our Old Dominion rebuild. We are going to be going through the roster today. So when we go through this roster, I want you to remember what this rebuild is all about. I'm going to keep repeating this. Someone famously said, public speaking is the art of repeating things without people getting bored. I don't know where that quote came from. I use a lot of quotes. You'll get used to it. The key thing we want to look at here is we're not looking at this from the perspective of, oh, how good or how bad are the players. We're looking at how they fit. Because we could have the best player in the world, and if they don't fit the offense or the defense we're running for, they don't really have a lot of value for us. The other thing to remember, and this is hard, because I know that there's a lot of people out there who play the game competitively, who want the best players on the field all the time. I am not the biggest fan of the overall rating in this game. I try to look more at the individual skills. It's just a philosophy. If you think it's crazy, listen, man, I get it. I'm a bit of a contrarian. I do things a little bit differently. But at the same time, I do find that I have success with it. I have success by looking at the individual skills rather than the overall, assuming I play the games. If I don't play the games, if I'm just simming, then definitely look at the overall, because I definitely think that weighs really heavily into how those games play out. But for now, since we're going to be playing the games, let's look at individual players, how they fit in the system, and where their best position is, because there may be some cases where a guy is playing in one spot and we go, you know what? Maybe he's actually better over there. So let's take a look. Going into the depth chart. Let's take a look quickly at our quarterback. So our quarterback is going to be Colton Joseph. So what do you want for a quarterback in the air raid? I think you want a few things. I think you want really good accuracy, because you're going to need to run all those West Coast concepts. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, that's all those short passing concepts, slants, sticks, flats, drags, stuff like that. That is without a doubt going to be the most consistent stuff you run in your offense over and over and over again. So if we look at Mr. Joseph, the short passing accuracy is most definitely there, especially for a guy playing at Old Dominion. 88 is very good. The throw power at 87, certainly good enough. It gets you through. He's not Chad Pennington, but he's also not Kyle Bowler either, to give you some names from 10 years before anyone watching this was born. The medium accuracy, we are definitely going to do some intermediate passing, probably not as much as some other playbooks, but in the intermediate passing game, Mr. Joseph is certainly very good. We feel good about that. And then in the deep passing game is where he sort of takes a hit. The good news here is that this hit is not egregious, but I do want to remember the 70-60 deep passing accuracy as we're running the slot fade, as we're running the verticals, as we're doing all of those things, because I think there is an opportunity here for us to point out that deep passing, as fun as it is never going to be a every down proposition, just because it's super hard, and we want to make things easy on the quarterback, not hard. Okay, so we like that. He also does have the ability to throw on the run. He's not super great under pressure, but he's good enough. He can also move a little bit with 86. He can move a lot with 86 speed. So one of the things we might want to do here is we might want to pepper in some quarterback run. Let's quickly check his wear and tear. His wear and tear is really healthy. Let's try to keep him healthy, but at the same time, some quarterback run on third and short and stuff like that might be a good idea as well. So we really like Colton Joseph. He, I believe, has impact dev, but he's a sophomore, which is great. It means that we're not going to have to rush another guy into potentially take his spot next year. But if we look at the rest of our guys, I will point out that they all have normal dev, and they all look kind of blah, for lack of a better term. Well, let's also quickly look at Colton's skill caps, just to see, if he does wind up staying here. He does have a pretty good set of improvement here. My face is in the way, but that's all right. The key stuff here that we want to talk about is accuracy, IQ. I believe this is health. Yeah. Who cares about health? It's fine. And his health is good. So we feel really good about Colton Joseph. We feel like he's definitely going to be a good start. Look at those jerseys. Did you see those jerseys? Ooh, the baby blue. We love it. All right, so Colton Joseph is going to be our starting quarterback. Feel very good about him. We think, especially as a sophomore, I think this is, and a dual threat, I think that this is a good guy to have in the air raid, so we like our quarterback. It's definitely a good start. Let's talk about our running backs. So I do typically like to use at least 2 running backs. The reason why is I like to keep them fresh, especially with all the new wear and tear mechanics, which, by the way, we have turned up a little bit in this particular rebuild. The reason why is I just feel like it creates a little bit more of a realistic scenario where players do have to come off the field, players do get hurt, players do have increased chances to We have increased chances to get more than just 11 guys on the field, which is the way I like to play the game. I like to play it like football, not like a video game. So we are going to probably get at least 2 of these guys on the field. Let's start with Devin Roche. He's also a sophomore, which is very nice. He does have some skills here. He's got recoup at gold, which means his fatigue comes back faster. Love that. Then we have shifty sidestep 360 armbar. That's basically to say change of direction, juke, spin, stiff arm, all at a very good level. His normal development trait, kind of not great, but we'll be all right. Don't worry about it. I definitely think we have an opportunity to run the ball with Mr. Roche. He is an east-west playmaker, perfect archetype for the air raid. What you want is a guy who you're going to get the ball in his hands in space. He's going to make a guy miss. He's going to turn. We talked about it with the slot receivers. 5 into 15. We always want to make 5 into 15. Football is a game of 5s and 15s, and the more 15s you have, the better chance you have to win. That is my theory on the entire thing of offense. Okay. Then our backup running back is going to be I'm going to screw this up. Morky James. I hope that's right. I'm sorry if I screwed up your name. He is also an East-West playmaker from Lincoln, Delaware. That's where my in-laws live. Not Lincoln, but Delaware. He is basically a not as good version of Mr. Roche, which makes sense because he is a year younger. Doesn't break tackles nearly as well. We hope that changes as he matures. A little bit. I hope he matures. Let's just put it that way. He is going to get some run, but I definitely think, looking at this quickly, it is definitely going to be a situation of more of a 70-30 split than a 60-40 split. We're going to try to keep Roche in the game. We're going to try to use him in the passing game. We're going to try to get him the ball as much as we can because he does seem like he could be a weapon on against a Sun Belt schedule for sure. We do have 2 fullbacks. You're not going to see these guys often. Let's not waste time. Let's move on to the stars of the show, the wide receiver. So we looked at some of these guys when we were looking at the playbook, but let's go through them quickly. Mr. Mbanasor, he is Sydney Mbanasor. He is our big body. He is our contested specialist. 6'5", 209. Use that body like a power forward, baby. Charles Oakley in his prime. 86 speed. Guy's certainly not a burner. Can get it done, though. When he goes vertical, he's going to win with body positioning. He's not going to win with speed. The catching at 79 is good, not great. The catch in traffic at 82, pretty good. Again, big body, spectacular catch, 88. Let's throw this ball down this field to this guy, okay? If he can beat a guy off the line, especially against that Sun Belt competition, we're absolutely going to throw a few of these. So he's going to be our big body guy. He's going to be our X receiver. That means he's going to be on the left-hand side of the screen most of the time, and he is going to be running what we're going to call big boy routes. Big boy routes are verticals, posts, ins, stuff where you got to be big, tough, go get it type routes, okay? And we want to make sure that if he can create enough separation, we will without a doubt have enough balls to go around for him. TJ Lott. TJ Lott is a speedster. He is not a big body. He is 5'11", 165. This is a dude who's going to have to win with separation. He is going to play our Z receiver. He will be on the right-hand side of the screen most of the time. So what that means is that he is also going to run some big boy routes, but he's going to win them differently. He is going to win with speed and separation. Acceleration of 90, speed of 91. That means, yes, if he can get off the line of scrimmage and go vertical, the problem is he's not going to win at the catch point. You look at 73 catch in traffic, 81 spectacular catch. It's very much a good, not great situation. So what we want him to do is we want him to get separation. So we're going to run him on the posts, on the verts. But on the verts, he's going to have to get separation. We're going to have to lead it out in front of him, right? He's not going to go get it, jump up and make a play. We're also going to run him on things like swings and RPOs because he's fast and he gets up to speed quickly. So if we can hit him on an RPO on a wide receiver screen, maybe he gets a block, he takes that 5 and turns it into 15 like we always talk about. Then we're also going to use TJ Lott probably on a little bit of what I like to call the non-traditional runs, your jet sweeps, your reverses. If we get the confidence to run any option, maybe. Stuff like that we might want to do there. So he's going to be our Z receiver on the outside. So we're only going to talk about those 2 for now because we're going to talk about everybody else when we get to the slot receiver. So let's move on to the tight end. So we have 2 interesting tight ends in my opinion, and the first one is Jalen Butler. So Jalen Butler is a physical route runner. Again, probably the kind of player you want for the air raid because he's a guy who can block a little bit, but he's also going to be able to run the simple stuff, which is all we're going to ask him to do. He's probably not going to run a ton of seam, a ton of vertical stuff. It's going to be mostly stuff 5 to 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. So either stuff into the flat, slide, flat, drags, square in, stuff like that. Or the dig. Some people like to call it a dig. That kind of stuff he's going to run. Good speed, decent strength, good acceleration. Any skills? It's got 50-50. So maybe, I do know in this playbook there is a slot fade play for the tight end. Perhaps that's something we consider if we can get him on a smaller defensive back. 6'4", 243, not a small boy. He definitely a big boy. Justin Pierce is our backup tight end. He is a physical route runner, 6'3", 245. Let's quickly go to his skills. This is a guy who is a little bit less. So if I remember correctly, the speed here is 79, the speed here is 74. The acceleration here is 86, the acceleration here is 82. A little bit less of an athlete is what you're seeing, right? But 54 run block, 63 run block. There's going to be an opportunity for Justin Pierce to get some of the fullback plays, the stuff where, again, maybe we sneak him out into the flat because we got a blitz and he's the hot or something like that. All right. Dawson Johnson we're not going to talk about just because we don't have infinite time. So let's quickly talk about our offensive line. Zach Barlev, raw strength. Raw strength means that they don't have any skills. So whenever they level up and they have to go get more, they need more points in order to get to the next level of their individual skill caps. So to quickly show you, if I go to Zach Barlev, who seems like a totally okay guy, it takes 13 points to improve his pass blocking, okay? The reason why is that he's basically just a power dude. It takes one less point for him to go from 90 to 91 power than it does from 85 to 86 pass blocking, okay? He's also not a great run blocker despite being a hoss, so something to remember there. What we really would like to have here is pass blockers. Pass blockers, pass blockers, pass blockers. We want a guy who's going to keep the quarterback upright, let him diagnose, let him read the field, let him get that quick stuff off. And as long as they can do that, we'll be okay. I don't think Zach's a catastrophe. I do think he is going to struggle against higher tier players than you traditionally would, than someone who is a better pass blocker would. At left guard, we have a problem. We're just going to make it clear. So this is Martin Woodsma. Martin Woodsma. Wonder if he is Dutch. The 2A is typically a Dutch language thing. And there it is, Amersfoort International. Cool. Anthony got one right. So our Dutch friend here is a junior. If we look at him, he is an agile guy. That means if we want to get him out in the screen game, if we want to get him out in the toss game, and on those gap run plays, we're going to try to run about 10% of the time, 10 to 12% of our running plays. He is a guy who could absolutely do it. It's exciting. It's really cool. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make sure that he is not a liability in pass protection. Because if you look at this, it's not great right now. So this means that if we're playing against good defensive tackles, good interior defensive linemen, we want to make sure that we, at the very least, account for the idea that we might have to get this ball out pretty quick. Okay? How about the center? Okay, we have a problem at center, too. We have a raw strength 72. This is not great. Not great. Again, struggling on the pass blocking. So what we're noticing from this team right now is if we're going to struggle, we're going to struggle at the offensive line level. Oh, my God, 69. Okay, Elijah Hoskins is agile. Connor Drake is raw strength, but he's a workhorse. We'll probably go with Hoskins to start and see how it goes. 73 pass block scares the crap out of me. And then, oh boy, DeBose Bourne is raw strength. You are also raw strength. You're a freshman. The pass block is the same. The run block is better for Schweitzman. All right, man. Mr. Schweitzman is going to get an opportunity here. And let's see how it goes. So we now know this offensive line is going to be our biggest problem this year. I don't think there's any question. All right, now let's look at the defense. So on the defense, if you remember, we want our edges to be our best pass rushers. We want our interior guys to stop the run. We want our linebackers to be guys to free flow to the ball. Okay? We'll talk about coverage when we get to the cornerbacks and safeties because that really doesn't change very much depending upon your scheme. It does, but we'll talk about how. Chris Trinidad, I think, is going to be our best pass rusher this year. So again, just a reminder with the wear and tear stuff, I probably will set this to, if not keep them fresh, normal at the very most. Defensive linemen probably need to be taken out of the game more than anyone else. The more that you put them on the field, the more likely they are to get hurt. They take a big pounding, getting beaten up every single play at the line of scrimmage. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to overexert these guys. So he'll play. So we're going to focus on the base defense now, which is the 4-3 package. We'll talk about the nickel in a second. So Chris Trinidad, absolutely going to play in that 4-3 package. On the other side, Ricardo Williams Jr., he is pure power. That is the raw strength equivalent of an offensive lineman. It's basically to say you don't have a ton of skill. You're a physical player first. So as you see, he will probably play in the 4-3 package, but when we get to the nickel, he will probably either go out or move inside to interior defensive line. More on that later. The defensive tackles are the interior defensive linemen, which are called defensive tackles here. And in the 4-3, you'll typically see them as both of those things. I'll call them interior defensive linemen for the sake of this video, just because that's what I call them. But if you want to call them defensive tackles, I don't think anybody's going to fight you on it. I'm sure there is somebody in the comments who's going to be like, defensive tackle is actually different things. 98% of the time, it's the same thing. The only difference is we're trying to unify the language across the 4-3 and the 3-4, so that's why you get that. Don't worry about it. Cole Daniels, pure power. Same thing as the edge and the other thing. He will probably play in the base package here as the run stoppers. And then we probably will take him out. If you look at some of his athletic stats, really, really bad. 40 speed. Excuse me. I'm very tired today. I don't know why. And then you have really a bit more about strength. Same thing with DeAndre Lynch here. Pure power. He's workhorse. He has hammer. Hammer means you hit a little bit harder. You take a little bit more of that wear and tear away. So another problem we're noticing with the roster now is we're definitely going to struggle with pass rush on the interior. I'm definitely thinking about taking one of those edges and putting them inside in the nickel package. But we'll talk about that more when we get there. At the Sam linebacker, we have Mario Thompson. I think Mario Thompson might be playing some edge as well when we get to the nickel package. He is what's called a lurker. This is the kind of linebacker we want. This is a guy who is an athlete who's going to run sideline to sideline. And like I said, we'll probably put him into some pass rush situations as well. But this is a dude who's absolutely the kind of player we're looking for. 83 speed, 87 acceleration, a decent tackler, good play recognition. I wonder what his zone coverage is, if I could see it real quick, because he will be forced to play some coverage. 75, certainly not horrible. It's pretty good, to be perfectly honest with you. So I do like Mario Thompson. I'm looking at him more as a coverage player right now than as a pass rusher. But let's see how it goes as we get to the nickel package. And then Jason Henderson. So Jason Henderson is a guy I'm very excited about. I saw him when we were doing our formation subs. He is our Mike linebacker, our middle linebacker, the captain of our defense, if you will. So he is a very, very good player, a great signal caller, a senior redshirt, 82 speed, 87 acceleration. What a tackler, 97. This dude gets a hold of you and you go down, and that's great to hear. His awareness at a 99 really makes it unlikely, and his play recognition at a 98 makes it unlikely he'll be fooled on play action. Jason Henderson is going to be on this field every single down. He is a senior. The wear and tear is not super great at the career level, so we'll keep an eye on that. But he is most likely going to be our middle linebacker. Does not come off the field unless he is absolutely beat. Okay. I want to quickly call out Koa Nawotala because he probably will play some in sub packages as well. He is also a pretty damn good linebacker, honestly. The speed is a little bit wanting, but he tackles well. The awareness is there. The play recognition is there. So while he's certainly not Jason Henderson, he's certainly a player who I think is going to get on the field, so that's why I want to show him to you. And then over at the will, we have Jahlil Colbreth. He is also our kind of linebacker. 78, good acceleration, good tackling. Can he cover? Yeah, 74 he can cover. Keyshawn Thomas, another guy who can cover. The difference between the two, honestly, is not much. The play recognition and the awareness is going to get Colbreth on the field first, but he probably will be the first linebacker we take off the field for the sub package. All right, corners. So, corners here are interesting. So, everything I told you in the formation subs video, in the 4-3 explainer video, we didn't really talk much about corners and safeties much, and the reason is the 4-3 and the 3-4 and the 4-2-5, it's really more about the fronts you use, not the coverages. The coverages are the same in every playbook. There's like 7 total coverages with little tweaks to it, like cover 2 invert, cover 3 buzz, cover 3 sky. At the end of the day, we're going to focus not at the individual adjustment level, but one level up of just the different coverages they are. I think that's the easiest way to teach people about it and show them what the different coverages do. So I am a guy who believes firmly in the cover 3, in a cover 1, cover 3. at probably about 60 to 65%, and then a cover 2 making up cover 2, cover 4, cover 6 making up the rest of that. And again, as we play, we'll go through what all these things mean. But what that means is our corners are going to have to be able to play some man coverage, if not mostly man coverage. While we'll probably play more zone than man, there will be man skills that we absolutely do need. So let's keep that in mind. So Bortros Alessandro is our best corner according to overall. Let's take a look at what he does. His man coverage is 75. His speed is 84. 84 is slow for a outside corner. Let's consider that, because the outside corners are the guys who get beat on the verticals, they get beat on the long things, and if he can't run with those guys, we have to consider taking him out of that spot, okay? So, man coverage of 75 is not great. Zone coverage of 76 I think is fine. So right now, I would say that my biggest concern is he is simply not fast enough, okay, to play outside corner. So I would start considering, hey, what would happen if we would move him inside, have him play the slot? Let's think about that. Our second corner is going to be Langston Williams. He is a senior. This is a bump and run man-to-man corner. So you'll notice here, the man coverage is 72. The zone coverage is 67. This guy is going to probably be our best man corner with a combination of speed and man coverage skill. As a result, he doesn't press terribly great. He is a senior, which isn't super awesome. He does have knockout, though. Knockout is a really good skill. It basically makes you more likely to basically knock out the ball at the point of contact, at the point of catch, creating incompletions. It's awesome. Really, really good skill for an outside corner. So I do think Langston's going to play outside. The question is, who's his partner on the other side going to be? Nikendre Steiger is what looks like another slot-ish corner, but he has 88 speed, 92 acceleration. He is much faster. Let's look at the coverage numbers. It is way worse. So this is a problem we now have. We do not have corners. And famously, Nick Saban once said, if you have the mans, play cover 1. If you don't have the mans, then you got to figure something else out. We are going to spend this season having to figure some shit out. Excuse my language. We're going to spend this season having to figure some stuff out. It's the job of the coach, so we'll get it done. So that's our cornerback room. I don't think Haynes or Crutchfield is going to be ready to play this year, but they are sophomores, so hopefully we get some improvement year over year. So free safety, strong safety. The way I view free safety, strong safety is kind of interchangeable, but if I do have to make a choice, I would want my free safety to be my coverage specialist and my strong safety to be a guy who can come down into the box, either a hybrid or a box specialist. I would prefer a hybrid because I do think that there are going to be times, especially if you use auto flip, which is a feature within the game, and you aren't manually setting which side of the field, which safety is going to be the deep third safety in cover 3, cover 1. I think you need to be very careful about making sure that both of these guys have some athletic ability and some zone coverage. So Easterly absolutely fits that bill. 84 speed is a little low, change of direction a little bit low, but you look at the zone coverage, it is 82, very good. He can tackle a little bit, if I saw correctly. 70 is not bad for a safety. It's not great, but it's not bad. And the pursuit is there at 85. So Easterly is going to be our guy who more often than not is going to play back in that deep third. He's going to then have that ability to make plays sideline to sideline. He's got to be able to play center field on certain plays, okay? Particularly as we get to the conference schedule, we'll probably play more man coverage. And as we play more man coverage, we're probably going to really rely on Easterly to play that deep middle, the center field role, for those of you who probably heard that 100 times. And then if we're looking at Tevin Corbett, he's also a coverage specialist, which is interesting. He is a senior, 88 speed, 92 acceleration. The coverage certainly not as good, 68 zone coverage. Just out of curiosity, if we look at Jeremy Mack is a little bit more of a hybrid, the 84 speed, the 89 acceleration, but he can play zone coverage a little bit better. Let's take a look at pursuit. Okay, the pursuit's 75. Okay, on both of them. I am going to make a adjustment here, and I'm going to start Jeremy Mack. I just feel like Jeremy Mack is a little bit more what I'm looking for, and the overalls being the same basically tells me, hey, use the guy who you think fits best. So as a result, I'm going to put Jeremy Mack in as our starting safety here. Our kicker and punter don't matter. They get to go over there and be a kicker and a punter. So all we care about are returners. I don't love playing star players as returners. I know some people do. I think it's an extra snap for the sake of having an extra snap, because more often than not, you're not even going to return the thing, and if you do, you're going to get hit. Most injuries happened on kickoffs. We don't want to do that. So let's go to punt returner. Our punt returner is Abdul Rahim Gladding, who is one of our backup receivers. No problem with that. Interesting that he has Silver Shifty. It's a guy who he's got normal dev, which sucks, but it's a guy I would wonder if maybe we can get to some packages and stuff like that. Kickoff specialist, we don't care. He's a kicker. Long snapper, great job. Keep doing it. Our third down back. This is good. So this is the guy who's going to be in there on all those shotgun plays we talk about. And if you look, Roche is our best guy. Let's keep him in there. Like I said, he's going to take 70 to 75% of those snaps. He's the guy who's going to be responsible for more of the running back snaps than anybody else on our roster. He's going to be the guy responsible for more of our running back snaps than anybody on the roster. So we want to make sure that he is in all of those shotgun formations, which he is. We do have a power running back spot here, but we don't really have a power running back. Maruki James here. That power running back thing is good. So we'll keep him there. I don't think he's going to get a ton of carries out of those. That will probably be the guy out of our single back formation or close to the goal line, 3rd and 1, that kind of stuff. Slot receiver. Okay, so here's where we really have to take a look at things. I mentioned Abdul Rahim Gladding is a guy I'm interested in, but let's look at the guys we have. So we have Jahori Thomas. He is a junior. He's 6'3", 195. So he kind of profiles physically as an outside guy. Let's look at his stats. 85 speed, not great. Acceleration, 87, kind of okay. The catching is 80, which is not super great. It doesn't really make up for his flaws in the other areas. And then catch in traffic is 76. Spectacular catch at 84. Interesting for the slot fade plays, but I'm a little concerned about Corey Thomas as my slot receiver here. So let's take a look at Trey Brown. Trey Brown, 87, 89, a little bit better. Let's look at the skills, no skills. Let's look at Corey Thomas' skills, no skills. So 78 catching, 81 catching in traffic. This is the thing that scares me about Trey Brown. I fear drops. That's why his overall is probably not higher. But that being said, I do think he fits the profile a little bit better of our slot guy. 6'2", 185 is a little bit big, but his ability to catch in traffic will probably make up for the idea that he kind of lacks some of that second level playmaking ability that we would want in our slot receiver. So perhaps he's the second guy, because let's talk about Naheem Abdul Rahim Gladding. First of all, Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 75 traffic, 75 catch in traffic, 79 spectacular catch. So here's the fear with Mr. Gladding. If Mr. Gladding catches the ball, he can be an explosive player. The fear is that he will not. And it is very, very important for him to be able to catch the football. If he cannot catch the football, if he cannot be that volume guy we talked about, he simply will not have an opportunity to be on the field. It's just that simple. However, I do think his athletics get him a spot as our starter to start the year. He will be our starter at a very, very important slot receiver position in the air raid. So we're going to shoot for greatness here and say, Corey Thomas, you're going to hit the bench. Gladding's going to get the first opportunity, the first crack at seeing if he can make some plays at the slot position. In our nickel package here, let's talk about it's called our rush ends. Basically, these are the guys who, when we play nickel, are going to be getting after the quarterback. It's definitely going to be Trinidad here. He is our best pass rusher. He's our wide 9 guy. If you remember us talking about the wide nickel alignment, he will probably be our guy in the widest alignment. He'll also probably a lot of times be our guy who is on the load side of the defensive line, which means he'll have the 3 guys. Hopefully he can create some havoc in there. He is definitely going to be our starter at that position. And then on the right end, so here's the interesting part. So Mario Thompson, I view much more as a coverage player than I do as a pass rusher. So let's look at the other guys we have here. We're definitely not taking Jason Henderson out of coverage. Mario Thompson, Jason Henderson, get that right, Anthony. We're certainly not going to move. Trinidad can't play both sides. Koa Noatala, I don't think this is a guy who's going to be doing a lot of pass rushing, although he's not bad. Frederick Giles is probably our second best pass rusher from a perspective of simply going out there and getting after the quarterback. I think we're going to probably move him up here into this position, and we're probably going to put Mario Thompson here as our third guy. So it'll probably be Giles first, Minter second, Mario Thompson. The reason why is I really do think I want Mario Thompson playing coverage. So that's just the thing we'll look at. We'll look at that as we get to the coverage linebacker pieces. So here, if you look, you're going to have a few guys here. You're going to have 367s. 2 of them are those pure power defensive tackles there. I'm going to put Cole Daniels in this first spot because he is a slightly better pass rusher, a little bit better finesse moves, kind of the same block shedding as DeAndre Lynch. So DeAndre Lynch is going to take out of the lineup. We're going to put Ricardo Williams Jr. here. If you look at his pass rushing skills, they are far superior, especially from a power perspective. And he is 6'2", 294 due to Haas. So we can slide him inside, especially against Sunbelt competition. And we can probably feel pretty good about the idea that he is a legitimate player at that spot. As a result, Lynch will come out on non-base defense snaps. Williams will probably end up with more snaps than Lynch does here, just as a heads up. But it's good to have depth. And in those primary formations, Lynch will play. Williams will sub out. It'll give him a break, and he'll be able to not get hurt having to play 100% of the snaps. Speaking of having to play 100% of the snaps, here we go. Jason Henderson will be playing pretty much 100% of the snaps unless he gets hurt. We know that he is our linebacker in both our nickel and dime. He is the guy who's going to stay on the field. We are going to quickly put Mario Thompson in. We don't want him on the edge. We want him here. He's only 6'2", 220. He is kind of a small guy, but he can run and he can make plays here. His zone coverage is 75. It's good. It's actually better than Thompson's. So the Thompson-Henderson combination here at linebacker during our nickel formations, something we feel very good about. This is actually going to be a strength of our team, I think. Then our slot corner. So we talked about Alessandro before. He is likely going to be the slot corner. He has the wrap-up skill, meaning he's going to tackle a little better than your traditional corner. He doesn't have the speed, but he does have the zone and man coverage. Again, Sunbelt competition. I'm certainly not going to put him in man-to-man against Indiana too much because I think the guys will run by him. But at the very least, he can play some of that zone. And if I remember correctly, he had pretty good play rec. Let me see if I can find it here. Play recognition. Here we go. 75. 75 is pretty good. You notice all the other guys aren't as good as that. So we're probably going to start Boris Alessandro as our corner. So what that probably means is that we have to go back and we have to take a look at who is going to play outside. So on 2 cornerback sets in our base defense, it will be Alessandro and Williams. And then we'll probably put Steiger outside when Alessandro moves inside on the three cornerback sets, which is very good. Our nose tackle isn't going to matter too much. We're going to make it DeAndre Lynch because he is the best run stopper. We don't know how many of these we have in our playbook to begin with because I don't think we use a nose too much. Nose being that Dexter Lawrence style guy who plays over the center. I don't think we have too much of it. We might in some of the load fronts, but worst case scenario, it's going to be a minimal number of snaps. So let's go ahead and let's leave him at our nose tackle position. Our gadget guy right now is listed as Roche. I think that's really interesting. I wonder if there are ways to get him opportunities to touch the ball in gadget formations. Gadget formations being things like the jet sweeps, those non-traditional runs I was talking about. Just like that, we do have what appears to be a depth chart. I don't see too many scenarios here where I'm going to move people around. A really good example is sometimes if I was playing the 4-2-5, I would want to move a particular safety into the box or a particular safety deep. We don't really have too many of those problems with this team where we have people sort of playing out of the positions that I would expect them to be playing in. But if it does come up throughout the season, we'll definitely make those changes. So I don't think we need to do too much with formation subs right now. So I think that's going to be the end of this introduction to the roster video, our initial depth chart. The next time we talk, we will absolutely be having a conversation about recruiting. Who maybe haven't played this game yet, just to let you know, transfers are wild this year. And we did leave it on the default settings, so we can lose as many as 20 players to the portal. If that does happen, we're going to have to go get new guys. We need to know which guys to go get. And I'm going to show you which archetypes you're looking for and which positions for both the air raid and the 4-3. And then we'll get started with our season. So in our next video, recruiting, and then maybe the start of the first game, or maybe the next one's a little bit shorter, and then we'll do another one for the start of the first game. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. But do me a favor, like, subscribe. Leave a comment if you have a question or anything you want to ask or something you want to discuss. Just do so respectfully is my only request. And as usual, if you want to be a jerk, kick rocks. Until the next time I speak to you, my name is Anthony. Thank you so much today. Like, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. I'm excited to get this rebuild started of ODU. I will talk to you next time.